Hey everyone, welcome to this video. It's part one of a series I'm going to do on planning a transformative year. I had an awesome year this last year. I slimmed up, trimmed up, lost like 25 pounds and 8 inches off my stomach. And the really big thing for me that was kind of epic and cool is I went into the year wanting to refine my audacious creativity. There's a backstory that I'm not going to go into in this story or in this video. But I did that by composing my very first song. And that's why I'm sitting at this piano. It seemed the best place to do that. It was audaciously creative for two reasons. First off, I had never written a piece of music. Second off, when I started this, I didn't know how to play a piano. So that was the audacious side of doing that. And it was a great and profound experience. And as I was reflecting on this and I'm getting ready, because right now is when I do my goal setting. I intentionally don't do it anymore in December. I start thinking, back in October or November about the coming year, but I really don't finalize anything till the end of January because I want to be able to give it my full attention. And for me, December, as a pastor, it's like my Super Bowl month. There's so much going on, so much hustle and bustle around holidays. It seems counterproductive to split my attention between trying to withdraw and reflect and put so much out there with the Christmas holidays. So in this video, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share with you the 7 elements that are kind of the core pieces, I think, that make the difference between me getting goals done every year and the general population who sets goals and resolutions and literally within about 2 weeks, they're just gone. They don't exist. So let's walk through those we'll walk through the very steps that I'm gonna do this year, that I've done years and years past. I'm gonna walk through those. I have a worksheet with you. You wanna stick around to the end of the video. And if you want, I can play my song for you too at the end. It's kind of a celebration to put, an exclamation point on last year for me, and you can just see what can happen with, setting a goal and intention. So here they are. Here are those 7 pieces. Number 1 is, there are 3 prep steps. Let me mention this right off bat. 3 prep steps and 4 systems that are routines that I have in place that help me get goals across the finish line. The 3 prep steps, and I think most people, this is they fail before they get started, is number 1, I review and reflect on the prior year. And I do this to get at my deepest need. That's how I knew I needed to work on reclaiming my audacious creativity. That came out of this first step. And by reviewing the year, you can plug yourself into your deepest need, your greatest desires or aspirations. You can look at what was missing. You really kind of put your fingers on the pulse of what season of life am I in so that you can meaningfully pick an intention for the coming year. And that's the next step that I do. So I review and reflect first. Second, I set an intention. Last year, my intention was to find my song. I didn't know it would be literal. And what I meant by that was to find my audacious creativity. And then the third step is I create clearly written, underline that, clearly written goals, and I identify the high value activities that are going to most help that goal move across the finish line. So for example, on my weight loss goal, I knew that I had 3 very specific high value activities that I needed to do. One was hydration. That was not a big deal for me. I drink a lot of water already. 2 was nutrition, and I came up with a very simple meal plan and did a lot of preparation to make it easy to act on. And 3, I did weightlifting, specifically 2 types of weightlifting. I did fat burning, like boost your metabolism up circuits, and then I did more traditional strength building. I kind of alternated between those, so I was putting on muscle mass that would burn fat, and I was doing high kind of velocity activity that was gonna burn fat as well and keep my metabolism in a high place. And it worked, but I identified those high value activities so that I would major on the majors and not get lost in the weeds of the minors, which often happens for people. After that's all the preparatory work, right? Okay, so review, set an intention, come up with my goals, and the high value activities go along with them. Then you need systems in place to take action. And for me, first off, a weekly review, really critical. I can't emphasize how important a weekly review of your goals is. I found that once I instituted a weekly review of my goals, that I started succeeding at 80% of my annual goals, and the 20% that I didn't finish, usually it's because somewhere along the line I decided that, what was I thinking when I took that goal on? Or something happened contextually that shifted where the goal was no longer appropriate and I chose not to complete it, as opposed to I used to get 20% done and 80% died because of neglect. You don't want to be that person. You don't want that to happen to you. A weekly review can flip that statistic completely around. Did for me, and I have the data to prove it. Every day I journal, that's the next step, and in my journaling specifically, I track 3 wins and 1 loss. I do that every day, and this isn't always about my goals, but it frequently is a place where I keep myself tuned into what needs to be happening or what's failing to happen around my goals. So that's number 5, tracking wins and losses. Number 6, I renegotiate my goal as needed. This is something that a lot of people don't understand about goals. They run into obstacles and are like, how could this happen? Because they had this idealized idea. They didn't know what they didn't know going into the goal. They run into an obstacle and they start getting behind, or they get off track and they fall into an all or nothing mindset. This happens all the time, particularly for dieting and exercise. They get a little off track and they go, oh, well, I guess, I just won't, I failed, I messed up my diet this morning, I'll just start next week or whatever. A great way to get yourself out of that all or nothing mindset is to learn how to renegotiate your goals. And so you keep moving forward regardless of obstacles or errors on your part. You don't just throw your hands up in the air. And then last but not least, celebrate. Woohoo! Like you always want to celebrate not only the final accomplishment of goal, but the steps toward it. Now, I don't want this video to be overwhelmingly long. If you want to participate with me in planning a high transformative year, you can start by downloading a little worksheet I did, which will walk you through that prep step number 1 of reflect and review on your prior year. These are the exact 6 questions that I'm going to reflect on and I'm going to answer in order to set myself up to have, 1, goals that are rooted in something that really matters to me. Because these questions, the answers to these questions, are going to reveal the deepest needs, the deepest desires of my heart for what I would love to see happen this coming year. So if that sounds good to you, go down below, click on a link, grab that worksheet. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I'll just decide where I'm going to put it. If you're seeing this somewhere where you can't find a link, go to Christ Yoga and You / let's say Transform 2022. Transform 2022. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Now, for fun, would you like to hear my song? If not, you can stop the video now. But if you want to hear what came out of my intention last year, this is my song. I'm really nervous. I feel like a kid at a piano recital. When I played this for my congregation, I had to start 3 different times. I may mess up. That's okay. I'm not a professional musician or pianist. In fact, literally, this is the only song I know how to play, and it's what I learned to play piano on. It's called Come Bring Me Home. The quick backstory behind it is I wanted to write a lament where I reflected on the dark place I had been in. But in lament, always biblically, it turns a corner toward praise, where there's always this, what I call nevertheless moment, where the psalmist is crying out, woe is me, God, woe is me. But you know what? Nevertheless, I'm going to praise you and I'm going to trust you because you're my deliverer. That's kind of the way a lament unfolds. And I wanted to write one for me to process my own pain, grief, struggle that I had when I went through all that calamity that I mentioned a moment ago, which was back in 2019. So here's my song, Come Bring Me Home. Child in a cold, cold rain. No, I'm striving to come back home. I'm shackled by my pain. Come find me, come hold me, come bring me home. Touch me with your cross. Heal me in my soul. Touch me with your cross. Come and make me whole. I don't know why I'm so disquieted, Lord. Though my bed may be drenched with tears, I will not give up hope. Come find me, come hold me, come bring me home. Touch me with your cross. Heal me in my soul. Touch me with your cross. Come and make me whole. I'm rising up from my pain. I'm gonna sing out my song. I'm gonna shout out your name. I'm gonna sing out strong. You are worthy. You are mighty. You are worthy of praise. You are holy. You are glorious. You are worthy of praise. Come find me, come hold me, come bring me home. Touch me with your cross. Heal me in my soul. Touch me with your cross. Come and make me whole. Touch me with your cross. Come find me. Touch me with your cross. Come Amen. And here's to a transformative 2022, friends. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Go get that worksheet. Bye now.